I feel like as I'm going on and on, I feel like God's put me in the competitive world to show people how you can compete and battle, but still do it like the right way with the right morals, and how I felt there's such a parallel between competitive sports and life in general.
You know, the first paddle out, especially when you're jumping into the ocean where there's no one else out, you get out there right at light and just waking up and the sun's just coming up. It's my favorite time. Not only is it in the morning, but it's also in the ocean where you can leave everything behind and you don't really think about anything else. When you're surfing, there's no rules what you can and can't do on a wave, an expression of what you're enjoying. I think that's what captivated me. No, I never saw this coming. Being able to give my gifts over to him, I think he's blessed my career beyond belief. I get to surf and make money and feed my family, and we get to travel around and do a lot of things that if it wasn't for surfing, I probably would never get to do. Certain things that you're put into that you have to rely more on God. That's why I always love to surf like big waves, more of the unknown, I guess. Knew who God was, but never really had this total personal relationship with him. At 18, I just missed the tour, and I really wanted to be on the World Championship Tour. I thought like, well, that was gonna be my happiness, it was gonna be insane, and the same thing that everyone else struggles with. Gotta stay close to him so I can die to myself every day. If it wasn't for God in my life, I'd probably be so selfish, unhappy. I think the more that I try to do for myself, the more unhappy I am. And I told God that I was like, you know what, if you can get me on that tour, I'll give my life to you. And then sure enough, later that year came around and got the result. And I remember going down to the beach that evening after everyone left, and God just struck me right there. And, hey, remember that? Remember what you said? And I was like, yeah, I totally remember what I said. And at that time, when I made it, I felt like probably more empty than I had ever had. And that's kind of when God just like just spoke to me. He's like, dude, no matter what you do in this world, you're gonna be empty. And then that's when, like, right there on that beach, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna live for you instead of living for me. And that can be tricky with being a surfer too, because surfing is probably one of the most selfish sports you can do.
You might get the short end of the stick, you might just get bashed, but you still have to do the right thing, and you still can't let that affect you. You see people act like a certain way when they're winning and doing good. And all of a sudden when they start doing bad, you see them totally change, and you're like, no, that can't be your happiness, you know?
When you take your talent or what God's given you and you just give it over to him, then he does the rest. When you've just totally been ripped off and you've totally, like, everything's gone wrong, and you can walk in with a smile on your face and just genuinely stoked, to me, that's the character I want.